Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and it's so close from the weekend. It's so exciting, and adding to the excitement is a lot of signings, and it's only from ISL. Sadly, I-League has stayed behind over here, so I think over the weekend it might just pick up. Along with the signings, we have a preview of the CFL that's starting very soon. The Independence Cup that's going on, we've got some updates on that as well. Joining me by a phone call is Chiranjit. Chiranjit, what have we got? So not to leave I-League behind, we've got some transfer news from Mohun Bagan as well. Sonny Norday is coming back. Is it, Chiranjit, is this a rumor or is it true?
We've been hearing that he wants to come back for a while. And it was about something that they wanted to figure out. Money was obviously a thing, but that seems to be sorted out because Mohun Bagan just got 2 new sponsors, which should be announced in a few weeks' time. And something else, I think Sonny Norday wanted Katsumi Yusa to play alongside him. But Katsumi Yusa is not staying after 3 years with the club. 3-4 years, he's leaving. So that's a bit of a unfortunate development. But it seems like he's coming back. Sonny Norday, he's one of the officials told Anand Bazar Patrika that his signing will be done by 20th August. And let's just see how that goes. I mean, this is not official yet, but what is official yet from the Mohun Bagan side is that Yuta Kinowaki, we've seen him play for Shillong Lajong, we've seen him play for Mumbai FC, I think he played for as well. Mm-hmm. And he's been in the I-League circuit for a while, and he is joining, Mohun Bagan as the second Asian. I think the other Asian quota will be Diogo Ferreira. Yeah. So he will be there in the I-League squad, and with Sonny Norday, it's actually starting to look good now for Mohun Bagan.
So one Japanese replaced by another. Yuta Kinowaki coming in for Katsumi Yusa.
Yeah. And it's not a bad thing at all. Obviously, I'm a huge Katsumi Yusa fan. I would have always preferred to see him, the kind of leadership quality that he brought to the team. But I admire Yuta Kinowaki as well.
Yeah, because if you compare them side by side, their game is very similar. They can hold the ball as much as they want. That is the best strength. And the way they fit into the team is you give them the ball and you have players making space for themselves, and you just let the Japanese midfielder just slide in one ball or two. Now that's the best strength, both of them.
Yeah, and it's both of them are like they just fit into the mold of the classic Japanese midfielder, and it's not a bad substitution as well. Obviously, Katsumi would have been the best option, but since he's not there, this is okay.
All right, so that's about Mohun Bagan and I-League. We've got a lot of transfers happening in the ISL, starting with Jamshedpur FC. They've gotten Emerson Gomez, also known as Memo. He's played for the Delhi Dynamos last season. Chiranjit, is he a good addition to the team?
Yeah, obviously. Memo, somebody got the memo. Jamshedpur FC have been doing that, following this specific pattern where they want to, assemble a team which has as much experience as possible with some, a strong Indian, core, and they are adding players.
I think what they're looking at is players with ISL experience, prior ISL experience. Yeah.
Exactly. For foreigners, they're looking for that because. See, it has always been seen in ISL that the new players that come in the first season they may have some troubles, and this is a completely new team in a new city with a new setup, So they don't want to take any chances, and their entire signing process has been just following that logic. So it's a pretty good signing considering all that.
So that makes it for Jamshedpur FC. Moving on, we've got a Venezuelan joining in the Delhi Dynamos FC. He is Gabriel.
Latin American team this time, huh?
Yeah, I think
no more Europe.
Yeah, what's with that idea of Latin American? Just getting in more
good.
and more.
It's good. It's good. It just fits with the complete phase shift that Delhi Dynamos have gone through. It's no longer a cagey European style football with lots of star names and experienced players or whatever. They've invested in youth in the Indian side, and they have gotten a few players which actually sort of fit into that Latin American mold. It's not the best kind of structures, which is what you get with young players. You get a lot of energy, you get a lot of enthusiasm, a bit of creativity, but they don't have the kind of structured gameplay that comes with a lot of experience. So I think it's a natural fit to have Latin American players who are also who come from a culture which encourages individual creativity in the game, and it's just a more beautiful to some extent which accommodates more chaos, has more variables, is actually better to watch the Latin American game. So I think this Delhi Dynamos team, I mean, I said this a few episodes ago, it may not be the best best defense or the best attack or the best midfield that you see in ISL, but it will be one of the most entertaining teams to watch. And I mean, you will not see this team play dull games at all.
Yeah. So Gabriel Chichero is what his full name is, and he's played in the MLS as well. And for the national side, he scored a couple of goals for his country, Venezuela, and he's also the 15th most capped player of Venezuela. So that really means experience coming in with him. Also in the Copa America finals, he scored against Chile. That was in the quarterfinals. He scored against Chile. So that makes him somebody to just look out for, in dire circumstances when you need a defender going up for the corners or set pieces. This guy can be the one.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Moving on, attention from Delhi to Kerala. So another ISL team is getting in transfers lately. So they've just signed up two players. One is a 22-year-old Serbian, goes by the name Courage Rekusin.
One of the things when I'm looking at the ISL, the way the transfer news trickles in, it seems like the whole thing is coordinated. Like पहले Mumbai City ने थोड़ा किया, फिर Delhi Dynamos ने थोड़ा किया, फिर Jamshedpur ने थोड़ा किया. Now Kerala Blasters are coming in. It seems like the whole thing is orchestrated to so that nobody really eats into another person's time in the spotlight. So that the headlines would be around that team. It's a bit theatrical to be honest, but they're doing them whatever they want to do. But I mean it's interesting that all this time Kerala Blasters, I'm pretty sure Kerala Blasters have already more or less finalized who their 8 foreigners were going to be. So they first got in Yan Hume, which was a big news and had its own time in the spotlight, and now they have come up with this, two very different players, I would say. So we got a Serbian defender and a midfielder from Ghana, right? And both of them come in with a lot of European experience. I think Pesic has played for SB Kapfenberg and what is the name of this club? Radniki Nis. So it's not like these guys have not been successful at the top. So FC Kope is where he was playing, and this is it's a Slovenian Prva Liga club is where Courage has been playing, and Courage is like just 22 years old. So just look at the kind of shift that they are having. ISL teams towards young players coming in from different countries, especially in important positions like the midfield. So, yeah, this is a durable signing, a good two players to pick up this far ahead of the season.
Yeah. So, Courage Pekusin, the 22-year-old attacking midfielder from Ghana, and Nemanja Lekic Pesic from Serbia. That's the two signings that Kerala Blasters have made. Yes, a great point made by Chiranjit that 22 years is really young for any club. And especially a foreigner in the ISL really turns eyes towards that team. We've seen Bai Kamo, who was a foreigner, who's 21. What impact he had at Aizawl. This is something that, just a similar story working out over there. And
Mohun Bagan is he has him in the Calcutta Football League squad. In addition to Kroma, who's and it's going to be between Kroma and Kamo for a place in the I-League squad. So let's see how that turns out. We're going to have an exciting contest over the next few months.
Right. Just as we started talking about Aizawl, and that brings us to the topic of the Independence Cup that's going on. And Aizawl lost to Chanmari. What was happening there? A closely fought game.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is again. Obviously, you are looking for a very pre-season kind of an Aizawl FC squad that we have here. Usually, the kind of teams that these clubs, the clubs from Mizoram, the teams that they field in local tournaments is very different from the teams that they field in at the national level, which is the case with all of the clubs anywhere. You see East Bengal and Mohun Bagan squads now that they're going to field in CFL. The I-League squads are going to be vastly different. So that's what we are looking at, but both Chanmari and Aizawl, especially, they are high-profile teams out of Mizoram. They are the only two clubs from Mizoram to ever play at the national level. Aizawl FC obviously are the champions of India right now, and Chanmari FC have played in the second division, and they are the defending Mizoram Premier League champions. So this was at the Independence Day football tournament. This was one of the most high-profile matches that could happen, and it happened at the semi-final stage. And started off with Aizawl FC taking a lead. They held on for most of the game, and Shiloh Mama, the Mizo football legend, he's playing for Aizawl FC this season. He made his seasonal debut for Aizawl FC, and everything was looking good. And then just in the extra time, a goal happened for Chanmari FC, and everything just turned on its head. I think it was
the 90th minute that the equalizer came?
I think it. I'm just finding the name. I think it was Thomas Lalenkima who scored the goal it was 4 minutes into added time, and it was 1-1, and so it went into extra time. And right after the 100th minute, we had Thasiyama who went and scored for Chanmari FC again, and it was all over. Chanmari FC, so the champions of Mizoram just beat the champions of India, and what a way to go towards the climax of the Independence Day football tournament.
That's just the level of competition that we're talking about. The best of teams over there reaching the semi-finals, and no easy way out for either of the teams. They had to struggle, they had to reach the extra time, and that's when the winner was found.
Yeah, this is what it is. I mean, we were talking about Dinthar FC signing a lot of good strikers. They went down. Chingaweng FC, who are actually like the winners of the MFA Super Cup. MFA Super Cup is like the FA Cup. It's like from amateur level all the way to the Premier League clubs. Everybody plays in it, so it's a very prestigious tournament. So Chingaweng are in the semi-finals. They are going to play today. So they are the favorites to meet Chanmari FC in the final. So it's like if that happens, we will see the league champions and the cup champions of Mizoram facing off in the final, which is obviously a glorious treat early on in the season for all the football fans.
Yeah. So that brings us to a closure for all the Independence Cup update. We've got something for you. We will be previewing the CFL, one of the oldest tournaments that's still running in India. And if you're not in Kolkata, you really do not know much what's happening there. But we've got you covered. Chiranjit will be covering the CFL for the Fan Garage. And what do we have in store for this year's CFL edition, Chiranjit?
Obviously, we've been talking on and off about it for a while, and now that it's getting underway, the first match is tomorrow. East Bengal is playing, so this is going to be a delicious season of the league for two reasons. One, East Bengal are in the verge of making history. Like we have mentioned this before, they won the last 7 editions of the CFL straight. They want to make it 8 and make a. I think it will be a record at any recognized level of football in the world. I mean, how many times do you see any club winning a league, no matter how lower level that is, 8 times in a row, and it's a competitive league. So they have that going on, but Mohun Bagan are desperate to stop that. They don't want that. Obviously,
so Mohun Bagan becomes the immediate favorites after East Bengal to win it.
Yeah, it's usually down to East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, right? People just say that whoever wins the derby in this wins the league, and often that is the case. They just gather, they drop a few points here and there, because most of the teams, there are 8 clubs in the CFL Premier A division this time, and most of the other clubs have semi-pro teams. Like you're talking about Southern Samiti, you're talking about Taliganj Agrogamhi have faced relegation, but they have been traditionally good in the CFL. Mohammedan Sporting are a good force in the CFL. They are in the 2nd division. Mm-hmm. You got Bhawanipur. It's a good medley of teams where it's either players who have played at the highest level before and they can't really get a club there anymore. They play there, or you have a bunch of young players who want to impress the big clubs, and so they play here. This time it's more important because you don't have the clubs taking it lightly anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
The last few years, because of ISL, because the ISL was almost upon whatever it is. So what kind of effect that ISL had on the I-League clubs, especially the Kolkata clubs? They would just make a makeshift team for the CFL season, and they would think, let's just get this over with, because we know that in December all the players who are in ISL, we will get our pick out of those, and they will come back to us. So they would simply focus on just they knew that most of the players who are playing there in CFL will not be playing for them in the I-League, so they would not put that much effort behind these teams. Yeah. And East Bengal actually got a free run because of that, because they took CFL a little bit more seriously than Mohun Bagan, and they had a competitive advantage there. But this time, they know that whoever had signed for ISL is not going to be there. So a lot of these clubs, clubs from Goa are looking at the CFL. The Kolkata clubs obviously are looking at CFL. What they are calculating is that we should really try and test our academy graduates and whatever new signings that we have done on a temporary basis. We need to test them in CFL. And if they fire well, we will take them into our I-League squads. So that is the reason why the emphasis is much bigger on this season's CFL. Yeah. So we will see East Bengal trying out their academy kids. Mohun Bagan will try out their academy kids. A few good foreigners who are trying to impress big clubs will be playing there. Actually, quite a number of good players who have gone on to do so well in I-League have come out of this league, like Baikamo, played in CFL first. Chroma played in CFL first. So it's a breeding ground for the future superstars, so to speak.
And for me, it's more about the first-hand pressure that you get used to, because this is serious business. It's not something that you just come and play and just go. It will be lasting in the players' memories, in the fans' memories. That one thing you do, something that it can make you glorified as a hero, and it can be it turns you into a villain as well. That's the kind of pressure that I'm looking forward, and especially what for me, I'll be keeping an eye on Khalid Jamil, because this is his real test. The I-League is still far away. The Derby is still far away. It's just 2 derbies in the I-League, say, or in the I-League, if both of them don't make it to the AFC or something like that. But or the federation for that matter. But here is where you will be actually tested in front of the fans, in front of the management, in front of all the players, if you can handle that pressure. This kind of pressure has never been given to Khalid Jamil before. We've seen him, with great amounts of experience, handle the things at Mumbai FC. That was a different kind of pressure. Aizawl FC was more of, he was given a free hand there, and he was given the back end. But here he will be given, a load of expectations, and he will be given a deadline. This is real pressure. This is a real test for Khalid Jamil.
Yeah, and look at what Mohun Bagan are doing. Shankarlal Chakraborty is being groomed for the future by giving him the main, the main reins over the CFL squad. I mean, Sanjay Sen is still there. He's just working with the CFL team as a mentor, but the head coach is Shankarlal Chakraborty. So what that means is that the coaches are also being primed for the big stage. Sanjay Sen will probably be there for a while, but hey, we're getting other younger coaches also getting a chance. Khalid Jamil, I don't think he has faced anything like this before. I don't think he has had much experience of playing in that ground. And the grounds make such a big difference in CFL because everybody plays, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are both playing in their own ground. Right? So East Bengal is playing in East Bengal ground, Mohun Bagan is playing in Mohun Bagan ground, and these are not your, vanilla stadiums where there's a track around the pitch or whatever it is. This is right there in the Maidan, the core Maidan crowd, the most knowledgeable bunch of football fans in the country, I think, and one of the most knowledgeable in the continent, I would say. Those are the ones who come in here, and they're not forgiving, they're very harsh. It doesn't matter if you are an under-16 player or a senior level experienced player, you will get your fair share, okay? And it will be like everything comes in hyper sizes. It's a small league, but everything is blown out of proportion. If you do well, you become an instant hero. If you do badly, you get berated like anything, because in their own grounds, those fans, they feel like kings. It's like they're sitting in their own house. So watch out for those games. The matches are on Kolkata TV. It's a Bengali news channel. It's happening. It's available in all the digital platforms or whatever. And somebody, I think, posted a link of a streaming of that channel on our YouTube comment section. Wherever you are, if you want a treat, watch it. East Bengal ground is a very intimidating fortress for East Bengal. It's great to be in. It's great to watch a match being played there, and the kind of passion that's brought in there. Mohun Bagan ground is my personal favorite place in all of football. Okay, it's nothing beats like it. If you are a football fan, you want to go and watch one game at Mohun Bagan ground under the floodlights in the evening. You get to see some of the light coming in from Eden Gardens. You get the air from the river. You just see the birds that are just flying home in the evening, and some crazy football action.
Wow. Chiranjit, the way you mention, the way you talk about, the way you explain all this, just makes me feel I'm already in Eden Garden, just sitting next to that light that you're talking about, and I'm entering the Mohun Bagan ground. How excellent. How about an introduction for somebody who does not know CFL at all, who doesn't know Mohun Bagan at all? Isn't that exciting? So that brings us...
it's that. It's not like ISL at all. It's the antithesis of what you see in ISL or I-League. You go into the Maidan, the roads are not fully well made, and you go into a ticket counter just walking on mud. Like, so you have to watch out so you don't slip. And this is the rainy season, August. You see a lot of rain. So the fields are muddy a little bit. So the players get a lot of mud, and you are just sitting there. Oftentimes it's raining and you have nothing else to do. You just have to sit there and take the rain and watch the football. So you are going through the same kind of, the torture that the climate puts on you as it puts on the players. So yeah, it gets you that much extra involvement in the game. And there is a saying in the Maidan, you have not graduated as a football fan until you have had a cup of tea, which is 40% tea and 60% rainwater. And that's what you get to do in the CFL, in the Maidan, in East Bengal ground, in Mohun Bagan ground, in Mohammedan Sporting ground. Obviously, Mohammedan Sporting are playing in Barasat this season because they want to use the floodlights over there. But yes, this is something you need to experience. Everybody needs to experience.
All right. So that's it for the domestic side of Indian football. We've got an announcement from the AIFF finally about the tournament that we've been hearing about, but no official announcement. It's finally here. August 19 is when India will play Mauritius at the Andheri Sports Complex, or the football arena that's also known as. So that's the first lineup that we have, and followed by on August 22nd, St. Kitts and Nevis play Mauritius. Finally, on 24th of August, India will play St. Kitts and Nevis. So that's the official announcement that's coming from the AIFF finally, because there was no official confirmation that Chennai was to be hosting. It's all the rumors and the reports that we heard about, and all the background noises that were there about the prizes and all the issues. So another a bit of sad news is India have dropped one place in the FIFA ranking. We are 97 in the world right now. This could be because of various reasons. It's not just because of India and not playing. It could be other countries who've been doing well and who've been playing matches. But here India's turn is come back to gain some points in the FIFA rankings and to even climb up from 97 up and upwards. So that's it from our end. Do like, share, subscribe if you're listening to us on the YouTube channel. Just before we leave you, there's an announcement that we will be taking a day off. Actually, we'll be taking 2 days off on Monday and Tuesday. You'll not be hearing from us. We'll catch you again on Wednesday. Till then...
Hey, it's not our fault. Come on. Monday is Janmashtami, 14th of August, and Tuesday is the Independence Day.
Yeah.
So we cannot be expected to just come to the studio and just give you updates. So we do this every day. We've been doing this for 1.5 hours. So cut us some slack and come back to us on Wednesday.
Yeah, you heard him. So we will be coming back to you on Wednesday. Till then, do listen to us on the YouTube channel. We are also available on SoundCloud and other major podcasting apps. Do download the IVM Podcast, the app which hosts many other interesting shows rather than TFG Football. You can download their app on Android and iOS. Chiranjit Oja is also on Twitter as Chiranjit Oja. Boza_Kevin is for me. You can talk to us all you want about Indian football. Till Wednesday, see you guys.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
Excuse me, भैया एक्सक्यूज मी।
बोलिए मैडम।
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है। आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम। आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे।